Okay, so this is called a pyramid fire, where you put all the larger stuff on the bottom and slowly build up as you get to the top. And the idea of this is, as the stuff at the top burns, it will drop all its coals on the stuff a level below it, and eventually you will get a nice hot bed of coals and a fire that you won't have to feed. And all these are, as you can see, is just cotton balls, and they have been rubbed down with Vaseline. And there's no special treatment or anything to them. You can just rub these down and stick them in the fire, basically. There's just a basic striker. All it does is produce some sparks, and I'll show you how easily these go up. Want to come here and hold the camera? So just spread it out a little bit more. There. And if you don't have a striker, you could use a lighter that's out of gas, or a Zippo, or flint and steel, or whatever. But as long as you can get a few sparks on these, they'll go up. So, let's see if we can get the rest of these lit. Okay. Take a chunk of this toilet paper here. And just shove it down under here to get these ones lit. And a great thing about this type of fire is the wind can actually be used to your advantage. It'll help ventilate everything and get everything going. Get that one. There we go. Am I missing any? I don't know, I think I'm going good. Good to go. So it is 7:27 right now. And I just, it took me like maybe 3 minutes to sort the wood into different sizes and put it together. So obviously this just doesn't take very long to build, except if you have to spend a bunch of time gathering the wood. But I will get back to you guys in a minute and we'll see where we're at. Okay, I'm back. It is 7:32, so it's been about 5 minutes. I have not touched the fire in any way. I haven't moved a single stick on it. As you can probably, if you can hear the sizzling, some of this wood is still even wet. The first layer is pretty much all burned off, and it has put all of its coals onto the layers below it, and you can see it's actually going pretty good. So I haven't touched it at all in about 5 minutes, and it's still burning great. And obviously the more wood you put on it, the longer it's going to last. But the whole idea here is to make a self-sufficient fire that will burn without anybody here to take care of it. So if you have to go check your traps, or go fishing, or set up a tent or do whatever, this is probably the fire you want to make. Okay, it's 7:42 now, and the only thing I did to it was just add a few more sticks to it, just so I can get a bigger bed of coals when it gets down there. There's not really a whole ton I have to do to it, it just kind of builds up upon itself. And it's already, it's still burning. Doesn't take much to take care of. As you can see, it's just going to keep burning lower and lower upon itself until it gets down to the bottom, and I can really do anything I want with it. So, there you go. Okay, it's now 7:47, and I just I threw a couple more logs on top, just for the fun of it. But I don't know how well you can see it on the video, but it's already got a pretty nice bed of coals going on there. And just not very long at all after I threw these thicker pieces of wood on top, they already started on fire because I got such a nice little bed of coals going on down there. So all this little stuff around the edge here, I can just throw it in and it'll burn up pretty quickly. Get rid of it. Get some more coals going. And if you get a bed of coals going that's hot enough, or you burn it late enough, or whatever, you can have good coals to actually start fire with in the morning, so you don't have to start from scratch. So, see, as the wind's blowing, it's actually helping pick it up, and that's good for me. Point for me. I'm just going to keep grabbing these little pieces around here, throwing them in the little bed of coals I got going on there. Another thing that's very, very good about a self-feeding fire, if you're in a survival situation or even just camping, is the less you have to tend to it, the less likely you are to accidentally burn yourself. And as we all know, burns are uncomfortable and we don't like them. But if you need your hands to gather food or go fishing or set traps or whatever, and you have burns on them, it's not going to work out very well for you. So the less injuries, the better, especially in a survival or outdoor situation. 7:54 now, so all I've really done with it is just kind of centralize it more, just take all the outer stuff and put it over the area of the coals, just to make sure everything actually gets to start burning and all that fun stuff. What I have here is just an Israeli gas mask. I mean, this filter is obviously no good anymore for anything severe, but it is absolutely wonderful for actually getting down in here and readjusting the fire and moving sticks around and all that stuff, and keeping the smoke and all that stuff out of my eyes so my eyes don't get all burned and tear up and start stinging. So even if your filters are no good, you can still use them for a ton of other things. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock now, so it's been long enough. I'm not going to continue this fire, I'm just going to eventually smother it, because I have other things I have to do. But I have taken this little folding shovel there. These are great, everybody should have one for like 10 to 15 bucks. Sporting goods stores, you can get them at surplus stores. If you live in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, you can get them at Axeman's or wherever really. But I just pretty much used it to push it in the center of this little fire ring here, so the coals are all in the bottom, and keep shoving heat up towards the top. I could add more wood, or spread it out, or at this point I could even just put a pan on there and cook on it. I was thinking about making bacon on it, but whatever. So should I? No. I'll make bacon later. But for now, I'm just going to put the lid on it and smother it and let that be that. But there is a quick example of how to build a fire that's pretty much self-sufficient. At least for the first part. I mean, if I would have taken more time to build it, it would have been self-sufficient all the way through. But I threw it together in like 3 minutes. And actually, I would recommend building it anyway, because even if it's only self-sufficient for the first part, it will give you a good base of coals to work with, and you won't have to worry about all the little tinder and kindling and all that stuff that most people struggle with. And if you can't keep a fire going, you might as well not be outside. So okay, so there it is, pretty much out. Wanted to make sure I got most of it out before I put this cover on and smother the rest of it. But smoke's still gonna rise from it, but it's not gonna be all like a super duper crazy oven in there. So I pretty much took that gas mask, that shovel, and stirred it around until the soot that was already on the bottom pretty much smothered out most of the coals. So just to make it a little bit safer, but there we go. Obviously, if you were outdoors in a wilderness situation, you could just smother it with dirt, or spread it on the coals like I did. Bury it a little bit more. And you could even pee on it if you wanted to. That's a little unconventional and kind of makes it smell really bad, but if you had nothing else, it's a good thing to do. But if you're going to be leaving it, always make sure to put it out. Don't leave anything still burning if you don't have to. This is in a backyard on a cement section surrounded by a lawn inside a metal dish elevated off the ground. So I am okay with leaving this burning until it cools itself off. But if not, make sure that you a general rule to putting out a fire is don't leave it. Keep on stirring it around or pouring water on it or whatever until you can run your hand through there and not burn yourself. Obviously this logic is flawed, because if you try it and it's not out, you're going to end up burning yourself. But, you guys are smart enough to do this. If you can find this video on YouTube or whatever, you're smart enough to put out a fire. So, there you go.